Hey there, Ishti here. That's my Hungarian name. My English name is Stephen. I am posting this video on YouTube for Survival Lily because she made the suggestion that maybe I should post some videos about my survival skills and my techniques and, the trades and tricks that I've learned in my time of studying survival and wilderness bushcraft. Unfortunately, I don't live in the best area to do this type of stuff because, you see, I live in Markham, which is basically a city now, and the woods that do exist are surrounded by highways and houses. So, not to mention the amount of children that go in there and party it up and, destroy anything you build out there that's worthwhile. So it's kind of hard, and I was planning on going out to the mediocre woods that we have here in my city, but it started to rain, unfortunately, and it's August, and it's totally not even hot enough outside. It's usually about 30-35 degrees outside, and right now it's probably about 21-22, which doesn't seem like that cold, but when it's Canada, 21-22, it gets down to about 8 or 10 degrees at night. So I live here in Ontario, which is central Canada basically, and yeah, it's unfortunate. The woods that we did have, used to be a lot bigger when I was a kid, and when I was like 14, I remember seeing a cougar once. It was pretty crazy. I was, standing up on this hill that looks over this river. It's called the Bruges, and in I believe Iroquois, it's called Enutsaquiogon, which means river amongst the birches. And it's a river system that runs. It connects to the Lake Ontario and goes all the way up to as far as Algonquin or Huntsville area. So it's a beautiful river system. And the further up north you get, the far more beautiful it looks, and the nicer the scenery gets. And the farther away you get from civilization, the more wild, I guess, it becomes. It is sad though. I have watched the woods that we used to have get cut down to pretty much nothing. Sorry, I say used to because it used to be actually a fairly large woods, and in the last 10 years it's been cut down because the population in my town went from 150,000, which is still a lot, to about 400,000 almost now in the last 15-20 years. So it doesn't seem like a lot, but believe me, when you've lived in this town for as long as I have, and you've watched parts of the woods where you used to play out and hang out with your friends and do survival stuff like this, end up becoming, a state highway, or a highway or freeway, whatever you want to call it. It becomes pretty disheartening for those of us who study this type of stuff and enjoy the wilderness. And for a time there was no animals really, no wildlife really around, and that was kind of unfortunate as well. But slowly they started to come back into the area, and I get to see a deer or two every once in a while when I go out to the woods that we do have around. One really cool thing is here in Ontario, we have a new hybrid of coyote-wolf mix, which they call the coy wolf. So that's something pretty cool. They both decided to interbreed and make some new subspecies of hybrid, which is, some of them look more like a wolf, some of them look more like a coyote. I haven't seen very many. You hear them more or less than you see them. I live in a very suburban residential area, I guess you could say. And I know 2 streets over my friend lives, and there's a little dead end street that goes down to a bunch of private homes, and there's a little wood lot there. It's not big, but it's it connects to the rest of the woods that lead out to the other bigger parts of the woods, whatever you want to call that. It's not really woods, I know like the back of my hand, and really, I mean, you stand in the middle of it and you can hear the highway and the houses and kids laughing, so it's not as, you know, away from civilization as I would like it to be. I prefer to be in the middle of nowhere where, you know, it takes like 3-4 miles to get to anybody, which is realistically, that's real surviving to me personally. I mean, some people find it going out to the woods here is pretty hectic, but to me it's just kind of a joke and a laugh. But, you know, as I've gotten older, it's gotten smaller and I've gotten bigger, so it's unfortunate, but there you go. So I'm posting this video for Survival Lily, just so you know. And yeah, I just wanted to show a few of the things that I like to take with me out to the bush. I like to have my Type 2 jungle hat, military issued. I am joining the Canadian Reserves, Queen's Own Rifles. We'll be specializing, hopefully if I make the cut, in reconnaissance, you know. So this is my Type 2 jungle hat, not what you're issued in the military. You usually have camo of some sort, but this is the black one that I wear out to the bush and around town. People look at me like I'm a weirdo sometimes. I have this little pouch that my dear friend Makadawa's Endeg, or his other name is Mark, but Makadawa's Endeg is his Algonquin native name, which is Black Raven. He made this for me out of buck hide that he shot and killed himself. He hunted it. And I usually put like little knickknacks in there or whatever. Sometimes maybe I just fill it up with beef jerky when I go out to the bush. Sadly, I don't get to use it as much as I'd like to. You know, water is always important. I drink a lot of water, about 1 liter to 1.5 liters. This is my military issued backpack. It's not the biggest one in the world, but it's one of the best rucksacks I've ever had in my life. I have a carabiner here that holds up to 2,000 pounds. Never know what you have to hoist up or hold. Survival bracelet that I just keep on my bag for, you know, extra rope if I need it. My friend Mark, my native friend, he always told me you can never have enough rope and you can never have too many knives. So I have another survival bracelet right here, which I'm sure a lot of people have seen these. I know a lot of people don't know what the hell they are, but there you go. This is a survival bracelet. You break the plastic here, break this, and then you pull it apart, and it's rope, about 8 feet of rope. So, same with this. And then I have another one right here, which is a necklace. Quick release so that you don't get choked if you fall and it gets stuck on anything, but same thing. Break it, pull it open, it's rope. Now, in my rucksack, I carry a little bit of tape. Sorry, I thought it stopped recording. Apparently it didn't. I carry a little bit of tape. This is hockey tape. I just threw it in there just for the, you know, heck of it. Brand new toothbrush I haven't used yet. Right on. Colgate. Way to go. I have very thick, these are 8 mil or 10 mil latex gloves, very, very strong, very sturdy. Some floss, because you can never go without floss. I have a few lighters in here. I like to carry my lighters. I know there's other ways of starting a fire in the woods, but you know, I've always been very adamant on making sure I got 1, 2, 3, maybe even 4 lighters. I'm pretty sure I have one in my pocket right now as we speak. So, this is a whistle. It was given to me by my friend who's in the Canadian military and Special Forces. He handed it to me as a gift on my birthday about 3 years ago. I know that they use them on boats as well, so pretty good to have sometimes, you know, if you get lost, you get injured, you can't move. What else do I have in here? I got tons of stuff. So, let's see. 100 feet of rope, 100 feet of paracord, just bought that. Just was really into it and thought that'd be a really good idea to have. And I have a survival, well, not survival, sorry, it's just a first aid kit, but I got a ton of stuff in here. I got toothpaste in here, and There's other stuff, you know, band-aids, burn-free, you know, all kinds of stuff, gauze, some rubber gloves as well, some surgical tape, this and that, you know. I got some scissors and tweezers in there and stuff, so, you know, just in case you hurt yourself, you got something to take care of yourself with. Wet Kleenex, you know, helps. If you're out in the bush, you might want to wipe your bum with something better than a leaf. If you don't have TP, there you go, you got it. Hand sanitizer, you know, if you need to wash your hands off or if you need to take care of a wound and you don't have anything else. I also have peroxide and rubbing alcohol. I don't have in my bag right now. But yeah, and then what do I have in here? I mean, this is not always what I take with me, but then I have an extra bag with a bunch of other little survival things, some extra rope, some extra latex gloves, some more surgical tape. I got some earplugs, some, you know, polysporin. I got lint. Guys, this is a really good little trick. This is lint for my lint trap in my dryer. Wicked to start fires with. Amazing to start fires with, actually. Works really well. If you really come down to it. Oh, and I got some razor blades. You never know when you might need those, but right? Just to cut open something, or you know, if you need to do something with a wound. Who knows, right? I got my scarf. Always got my scarf. One or two, perhaps. Depends on the type of situation I'm going into. If I'm going far, far up north, I usually have one or two scarves. And I'm not gonna lie. I do definitely take 1, 2, maybe 3 knives. This is my little like side knife. It's not exactly a survival knife, but it's a tactical Black Label from Remington's, I believe, or Winchester, one or the other. Anyway, Black Label's the name of the brand from the company. It's a tactical knife, so it's got the glass breaker, but you know, it's still a good little knife to have on the side. I've used it for a lot of little things. It's perfect. Today I was gonna go out there, so I just packed this little. Nothing special. It's Mondetta. Never even heard of the company. Made in China. Just you know, like an Under Armour type shirt. For my pants, I'm just wearing Wranglers. They're nothing special. You know, just kind of a work pant, but also kind of, you know, military-esque, outdoorsy pants. Nice and thin, good for the weather for today. I'm just wearing a normal t-shirt. I don't really wear anything specifically special for it. And then I have my survival knife. This is the Gerber LMF2. A lot of Marines and, you know, military guys carry this knife. I bought it because I had heard a lot of good things about it, and it's got a glass breaker, even a hammer. You know, I've used this thing for pretty much everything. I've cut down trees about this thick with this knife, you know, just put it in there and hit it with a piece of, you know, another piece of wood. I've cut down trees with this thing. This is one of the toughest knives I've ever seen in my life. It's made in Portland, Oregon, USA. See it right there, Portland, Oregon. It's Gerber. It's heavy. It's a heavy knife. It's got the holes on it. You could latch it to a stick for a spear, right? Whatever you need, or put a lanyard on it and, you know, latch to your wrist so you don't lose it. It's full tang construction, so it goes right down to about here, and then this piece is put in as well. So, but this is a solid knife. You know, I like to wrap my knife handles in some hockey tape, give it a little bit more grip. But this knife, as you can see, I have used it a lot. I've taken it up north with me several times. It's a heavy-duty knife, not what I would use in my hand-to-hand combat training, but, you know, if need be, I would definitely use this if I had to protect myself. I know a lot of people don't factor that into their minds, but I'm one of those people that really likes to factor in the whole concept of, you know, fight or flight type situation in the wild. You know, I'm an animal too, so if I have to fight, well, this is my fang, this is my claw. So I usually, like I was saying, I usually take probably about 2 to 3 knives with me. I'll take a little one, my survival, one that I have specifically for combat situations if need be with an animal or anything, and I usually have a tomahawk or a hatchet of some sort. With the LMF2 Gerber, really good. I mean, that thing sticks in there and ain't coming out at all. I'm sure a lot of people have done. I've seen a lot of reviews of this knife on the internet, on YouTube as well. Great scabbard. You know, this thing is just by far one of the best knives I've ever had in my life. And that's pretty much about it for now. I would love to go out to the woods, but you know, it is raining, and like I said, the woods around here are very mediocre. I mean, we do have the coy wolf, we do have deer, we do have raccoons and possums and stuff like that, but you know, it's so cluttered with people that it's almost impossible to find, you know, an area in which nobody goes or sees or, you know, disrupts in some way. So it's kind of disheartening when you love that type of concept of life where you're secluded, and I'm one of those people that I like to be alone. I'm very lone wolfy, so I like to be out in the woods by myself. I'll go out there a lot by myself and just sit down and just hang out for hours sometimes, and you know, I train a lot of empty hand combat training, so I like to go out there sometimes and just set up little spots to, you know, practice my hand movements and knife techniques that I learned in my life. And yeah, every once in a while I get to see a couple of deers. It's pretty nice, you know. I've almost walked into a couple moving pretty quietly through the forest. You get pretty good at it after a while. You know, you do it enough, then you learn how to move and how to stay downwind, and you know how to blend in even without camo. It's not hard to blend in. It's just about the colors you wear and about how you stand out. You know, how you personify your aura, especially, is a very important thing. You know, if you learn to become one with your surroundings, then I mean, you know, you're undetectable at all. And really, if you really want to see wildlife, is the best way to do it is to just really make sure that you blend in with your surroundings. You know, become part of it and become one with nature and Mother Earth, and you know, she'll bless you with the ability to see things that most people never get to see because they just tromp through the forest like this and they're not paying attention, right? But you know, you take it slow, you take it easy, and you measure every movement you make, and every, you know, inch that you walk becomes more and more beautiful. And then you start to notice things that you've never noticed before, you know, and hear things you've never heard before, feel things you've never felt before. Anyway, that's it for me. I just posted about an 18-minute long video, so but that's for you, Survival Lily. Hopefully I can upload this to the YouTube very easily and it won't cause me any problems, and this will be the first of, I hope, very many videos to come by your one and only Ishti the Bushman, otherwise known as Mexico Sand Egg, which is Red Raven. Anyway, good night. Have a good one. Later.